custody as to 85% of women. I don't know that I disagree with that. I don't know the stats specifically, but that doesn't sound totally wrong to me.
It sounds feasible, right? I mean, it's in the ballpark.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
If then the secondary position is, and 7% of those are uncontested by female caretakers, I would be interested to know how many of the male, the female caretaker positions are uncontested. I would guess that it is significantly more.
Okay. Steve?
One more super chat that just came in. Joe666. Shout out to Kyle's graphic design work. I noticed it a lot. Upset about not having relationship equals incels / I'm upset about a relationship equals MGTOW. Do you think that's a fair assessment?
Well, I've talked to a lot of guys who went MGTOW who've never been in a relationship. They've just saw what happened to their fathers, grandfathers, uncles, and they just said, you know
I can
what?
see that.
I'm not doing any of that. I'm not going down that road.
No, I could definitely see them being, for example, if they have a father figure or a brother or somebody they know have been had those experiences, they might take it upon themselves to say, you know what, I don't want to be a part of this anymore, because it just sounds literally like men just want to be left alone. That's how I'm looking at it.
I don't know.
One more just came in. Instead of judging this man, we should listen to the deplorable way the system has treated him. Addressing his issues does not mean agreeing with his views on gender.
Oh, I totally agree with that. Yeah, obviously he's had a shit system happen to him, and it's deplorable. And like I even said, I had compassion for that. I even said a while back, my heart goes out to him when it comes to that because I've dealt with something not to that degree, but we've all been there, right? And so, yeah, I totally accept that. We should be, understanding that this shit happens, and there is a reason to talk about these things, the way the system treats people. There's no question about that.
Agree.
Okay. What I'm going to do now is let you guys kind of give any kind of closing remarks that you want to sum up the talk. Also, plug your channels, what you're doing, if you have anything coming up that people need to check out, and where they can follow you on social media. And Emrazz, we'll start with you.
Well, I think I'm not sure that I have an in summation on that conversation because I don't necessarily know what we just talked about, but I think what I would say is that I disagree with the position. I think MGTOW is sort of deceptively named because I don't think that it is men going their own way. I think it is men choosing to disengage from traditional relationship norms with women because they dislike women. Now, they have every right to do that, but I will close with one of my favorite MGTOW quotes from well-known YouTube MGTOW, Mr. Sandman, where he says that feminists are children pretending to be adults. And just because you're wearing the pants, honey, doesn't mean you can be a man. So I don't think that MGTOW is just men doing their own thing. I think it is a movement based on believing that women are manipulative liars who want to steal from men and are unable to provide for themselves independently. And they are no longer going to subject themselves to that kind of treatment. And so I had hoped that we could at least be honest about that being what MGTOW is. But nonetheless, I appreciate that we stayed mostly respectful. And I, as always, enjoy being with you guys. Thank you. You can find me at Emrazz, EMRAZZ on Twitter, or at Emrazz Official on Instagram.
So what do you say to that, Terrance, to that summation, that it's just a bunch of men who are they think that women are vindictive and gold diggers?
Well, that is my assertion. I've been doing this since 2008. I've talked to roughly almost 6,000 individuals, most of them non-custodial parents, over 90% of them male, and half of those guys are veterans. And all of them were taken to the cleaners by the system as it stands now. I mean, we're talking losing their pensions, careers, kids, lives destroyed. And a lot of it's over some pretty petty bullshit. And I have to err on the side of the evidence that I've seen that women are manipulative, selfish biatches, and that's just the way it is. I mean, of course, not all of them are, but a large, so many of them are that it's too expensive to try to even look for the ones that don't fall into that category. I mean, you make one mistake, you're living on the street like me.
Okay.
And all you can really do is just laugh about it.
I've had bad experiences, but I got to tell you, the majority of them have been pretty good. I've had a lot of girlfriends, and maybe you just had a run of bad luck.
I made a video about it. I made a comedy of it, a video about it. Turning a whore into a housewife can't be done. I tried it, failed. Yeah, I made a comedy video about it where I explained the whole thing to the dudes out there, so they can go, hey, I'm not going to do that. And then, that's one less guy is going to get mauled. And a large portion of my videos are comedy education based because, through 33 years in the Army, I have seen thousands of dudes, just get mauled out there in the real world. They turn 18. Oh, I'm a man now. They step out there and all of a sudden they got child support, divorce. A lot of them are killing themselves. And it's just heartbreaking. And, if I could teach those young guys to avoid those pitfalls ahead of time all day long, I'll do it all day long. Let
me ask you this. Is it so much the women or just your choice in women?
That's a great question, too.
Well, I know.
We all have bad choices
all
in
it
women.
takes.
We know that they're bad choices, right?
Yeah, sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. But in today's day and age, all it takes is you to make that one bad decision, and it's over. It's over for you.
We have one more super chat real quick. Michael Pitts, $5. This dude is like Elaine's boyfriend in Seinfeld, developed a fetish for children's swords and some ragey self-pity. Okay. By the way, we try not to read the comments. These are creative, so.
No, that's fine.
That's what
I get all kinds of hate mail.
You're a big guy. Yeah, we were talking about hate mail earlier, so he's not going to get upset by any of this stuff, right?
So
I wouldn't think you'd be a special snowflake, right?
The funny thing is, though.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is I used to think just like those guys out there until it happened to me.
Well, Emrazz, let us know where you could find her in her social media. Why don't you tell people where they can find you on YouTube and Twitter, Facebook, all that sort of stuff.
Okay. My website is redonkulous.com. Even if you get close to the spelling, you'll go right to my site. I have a channel on YouTube, which is Redonkulous Popp, or even if you search YouTube for redonkulous.com, you'll get my videos. I really don't do much Twitter, and I have a presence on virtually all the other video streaming sites out there. They're all under Redonkulous or redonkulous.com.
And they're pretty funny. I was binge watching the other day. They're pretty good. They're funny.
Just because I'm curious, what is Redonkulous from?
Basically, it stands for if it's wrong and ridiculous, it's redonkulous, and I'm going to talk about it. And then if I don't offend you or piss you off, let me know, and I'll try harder.
Excellent. Well, listen, I think you did the job tonight. I think you succeeded in mission accomplished tonight.
Well, she kept saying, I was wrong on the stats and stuff. I mean, I'm looking at, some of the stuff here on men paying taxes, and I'm looking at one. I can't find anything on the United States, but I'm looking at one here in England where, men pay a majority of the taxes and women take up more taxes than they put into it. And I'm pretty sure it's pretty close to that in the United States as well, with the huge safety net that we have going on now. That's a lot of these single mothers are now, sucking on the tit of.
Do you know the answer to that, Emrazz? Off the top of your head?
I do not know the gender tax ratio of the United States. No.
I'll look into that and when I find it, I'll post the link to that answer in the description. I'll do a little bit of research later on. But guys, thank you for joining us. Oh, two more. Thanks, NS, for these informative discussions. You're welcome, AC. And you should take Dr. JP's advice and clean your take Jordan Peterson's advice and clean your room. Okay. All right.
And thank you, AC Castillo, $2. Thanks, NonSequitur, for these informative discussions. You're welcome.
I just read that, Steve.
Oh, did
Pay
you?
attention.
Yeah. Well, no, you did. Did you? Well, okay. Well, I zoned out there for a second.
Okay.
I'm old.
All right. So I want to thank Emrazz and Terrance for joining us. This was a lot. Actually, this was a lot tamer than I thought it would be. I thought it would be a lot more brutal. I'm glad that it wasn't, though. This was a very respectable change for what it was. So for two people to be such. Go ahead, Terrance.
Well, no, she didn't get nasty, so I didn't get nasty.
She's not a nasty person.
Yeah, that's good. I think that's good.
We need to find him a really nasty feminist, because God knows there's a whole bunch of them.
Oh, come on.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there are. Come on. Is that not true? Come on. There are some.
Steve wants blood.
There are some really radical feminists
Steve
out there that
blood.
you just look at it and go, "What the hell are they doing?"
But yeah, thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you back here tomorrow for Debate Roulette. Remember, if you want to be a part of that, go to Discord and let us know ahead of time, and then we will also go to the suggestion box on Discord. If you have any suggestions for anything that you'd like to see on these the topic wheel, put that there, and we'll try to include those. So other than that, Steve, you got anything else before we close out?
No. I think this kind of, just shows that people from very different positions can actually have civil dialogue once again. This is like the second time that Emrazz has had a great discussion on here, so thank you.
So we're going to go our own way until tomorrow, where we'll be back here at 8 o'clock.
So you'll be here for a while then. Bye.
Thank you, Terrance.
All right.
What is that move? What is that move there?
Non sequitur. Your facts are uncoordinated.